I'm here with the 100-meter champion, Olympic silver medalist, Fred Kerley. How are you feeling today? You just opened your season 10:03.
I feel like that's a good start. Prepare for my Olympic season this year. Is the only thing we was working on is drought phase and the momentum that I've been trying to reduplicate that I did the prior years besides last year.
Nice, nice. You've been having success in the 100 meters, but a lot of people might have don't forget, this was a 400 man, 43. You ran 43 before, you switched over in the 100 meters, and you got a silver medal in the Olympics. What are you trying to do at this Olympics?
Time to upgrade that silver to gold. That's the only thing I'm working for, upgrade that silver to gold, and I know I'm the man to do it.
Naturally, naturally. So in the world of track and field, a lot of people do not want to talk business. But Fred, you've always hinted online. You never went into the deep details. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the business ventures that you've been into. A lot of track and field people have not gone into business. They just stick to track and field. But I want to know, for track athletes, what kind of advice could you give them for business ventures outside of the sport?
Well, it's all about once you get your bread, invest, because at the end of the day, track is short-lived. No matter, sports is short-lived regardless. So it's all about getting the money while you can, and not trying to spend all the money all at once. You can have fun, but don't get me wrong, but it's all about investing at the end of the day for you can live a life that you want to live once you get done with the sport.
Yeah, so talk to me about some of the specifics. So I know you've talked about land. Give me some of the specifics. I'm a track person. I want to invest during the sports when I'm making money. What are some of the things I could invest in?
Well, you can invest in a lot of stuff. I invest in stock market. I invest in a barbershop that we just about to open this month or at the top of next month in Brooklyn. So if you ever need a cut, come down to Miami. It will be lovely. And land, bought another house. About to get signed the papers tomorrow. So it's just the small things. And then plus I invest in cattle and stuff. It's good to grow your own food, feed your own animal, and know what you put into your animal for. You can live a healthy life.
You heard it first. That's it from Fred Kerley. So Fred, you definitely have signed with Nike, fresh out of college. Now you're signed with ASICS. A lot of people don't know how to navigate those structures. You're doing it with two brands. Everybody know that second contract is way harder to sign than that first contract. You have to achieve everything. What some advice could you give to some of the athletes now who are dealing with NIL money? They're dealing with going pro. They're dealing with navigating new contracts. What type of advice could you give them to have some of the success that you've had?
Discipline, patient, and listen to advice of certain people. Every advice that you get from the elders is not always right, because it probably works for them and not necessarily going to work for you.
Yeah, naturally. So you definitely want to surround yourself with good people. What are the qualities that you look for in the other people that you surround yourself with?
Well, first of all, you can go off of the vibes. Vibes tell me everything I need to know. Your gut feeling it tell you everything you need to know. Everything that you invest in not always good for your pocket. It's probably good for the next person's pocket, but it's just like you can tell who is generally good for you or generally good for themselves.
Okay, that's great. That's great advice. Listen to Frederick. He knows what he's talking about. So 1 million followers on Instagram. Overall, you have millions of followers on social media. That tells me you know a lot about branding. I do a lot of marketing, and I know that that's something that's gotten you a lot of your deals. You got the Oakley deal, multiple deals from other brands. You guys can't see right now, but Fred got a bunch of cameras around there. So there's going to be a lot of content. What type of advice could you give to athletes to follow your footsteps, to increase your brand and thus increase the amount of deals that you get?
Do what you do best. Don't you gotta be yourself 24/7. Don't be no one else. Be yourself. And I feel like what got me these deals, being myself, being outspoken, being me. I can't be nobody else. I only know how to be me. And this me is 24/7. I talk that mess, that shit 24/7, nothing else to it. That's me 24/7. I talk my shit. Simple as that.
I can 100% agree. So, recently you spoke out about USATF, about the 4x4 relay. Your guy was split 43. You split 44 on the first leg, which if you ever ran track and field is one of the hardest things to do. What do you feel about being outspoken as an athlete? Because that's one of the things that keep track and field in a box, and a lot of people don't show their true personality. What keeps you going out there and just being yourself regardless of the consequences?
Well, first of all, don't let nobody disrespect you, because if you get disrespect one time, you're going to get disrespect for most majority of your career. You got to be who you say you is. Don't sugarcoat nothing, because money is there. Money going to come. Simple as that. Money going to come. Don't be disrespected. That's simple as that. I don't care who it is. Don't be disrespected. Know who you are and just don't be disrespected.
Yeah, Fred, and definitely I want to have a longer conversation with you another time about this, but let's jump back to South Plains days. You coming from South Plains. I knew you from back then. One of the things, the story I'll tell you quick about Fred, back in the year before you went to A&M, that summer you finished at South Plains, you're going to transition, you went straight back into practice. That's the type of grit that you have. I mean, a lot of people be like, hey, wait till September, wait till August, wait till you get with your new team. But that same year, you ran 45-0 at Texas A&M your first year, before the next year coming on now and doing what you did, that special those 43s that you were running, what gives you that grit to make it from South Plains to A&M to where you are now?
I feel like I know where I came from. Don't be in the same position like everybody back at home. Keep on driving, because you know if you go back home, you settle, and you don't want to be in the same footstep that everybody got back home. I saw brighter for myself, and I see the world. Track gave me the opportunity to see the world. I think that's the only sport where track and field, the meet directors and all that pay for our vacation.
Yep, naturally. I mean, having fun with it, that's the best part of it. How do you feel about all these rivalry talks week in, week out? How do you approach it? Do you go in thinking about these rivalries, or are you focused on yourself?
See, I don't even think it's a rivalry in the sport. I think people get stuff messed up. Rivalry is something that you got to compete week in and week out. Like Justin Gatlett and Usain Bolt, that's a rivalry. Tyson Gate and Usain Bolt, that was a rivalry. Maury Green and Michael Johnson, that was a rivalry. I think this new talk is not rivalry. It's just like people run fast a year and then get forgotten about it next year. A rivalry come on year in and year out. I don't think this rivalry talk how people say it is. There's no rivalry. It's just people running fast at certain meets and stuff, and then boom, and then now the media is talking about rivalry. It's something that you got to do week in, week out, year in, year out.
Okay, I get it. You look at the NFL, you look at the NBA, their business sense is really up there. What do you think needs to change from the business part of track and field to get us on that level where we are one of the major sports in the world outside of just the Olympic year?
I feel like that talk is like simple as it can be. Like, you got to have a union to order to bring more money and more sponsorship into the thing. Just like that, you can't really talk about sponsorship is sponsorship. We don't got no league. So like it's totally different ball game. Track and field really don't got no league. So it's just hard to be complacent about that until you found a league, and that's how money talk.
Okay, nice. Fred, it was great talking to you. We're definitely gonna have more conversations. Good job on your opener today. Looking forward to seeing you. When you say your next meet is gonna be where?
Hopefully China. And
see you
something before then.
See you in China, Fred. All right.
Yes, sir.